Well, I forgot about what idea I had for today's recording. I truly hope the audio is not as bad as last time, but you know, I decided to show you this view of, well, just the outside of my window. There's gonna be much more things that I'm gonna talk about later. And I really hope it doesn't become too repetitive of me just constantly saying that there's a lot of things I want to show, but like I just don't really know how right now. Yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna do. It's all right. It's all right to take your time with things. So I won't. I don't think I'll be staying here much. Like I said last time. Not sure if I said it that way, but like I'm not gonna stay here long. Like on this earth anyway. So yeah, something that really makes your life just more simple is trying not to stress yourself about life and just kind of looking for peace, looking for meaningful peace, one that you don't get from worldly things like food or plants or like people or anything like that. It's like if you want to find peace, just go to the Prince of Peace, right? And if for anyone watching that, like for anyone watching this video that doesn't know who the Prince of Peace is, it's Jesus. Pretty simple, right? And now, if you find yourself skeptical about my statement or what I just said, um, but here's a pretty simple thing that can really narrow down your perspective of Jesus to a very simple binary level. Um, Look, if you don't believe that something that Jesus said is true, then you would be forced to consider him a liar. Because if he, if at some point he didn't say the truth, that means that he technically broke one of the commandments of God Himself, talking about lies and how they're not good because God is not a liar. Like, God is literally incapable of lying. Like, it's just not who He is, therefore, He just never does that. And so, if you really look at what Jesus said, He said that He came to fulfill the law and the works of His Father, which is God, right? So here's the thing, if you ever say that something that Jesus said was not true, you would be saying that He is a liar and therefore everything that He said is not true because of the very nature of Jesus Himself, the very nature of what He was trying to do. Like, what He was trying to do was to fulfill the whole law and then sacrifice Himself as a fair sacrifice in place of humanity, of the entirety of humanity. And if you say that He ever lied, that means that He never actually got to do that. Like, He never actually got to become a worthy sacrifice for all of humanity's sins. So just before you doubt Jesus or God in general, just taking count what Jesus was trying to do in the first place. Like what he was trying to do implied that he would have not lied about anything, like at all. And if he did, then like if you think he did or if you believe he did, then you would just be calling him a liar and that's it. So like basically you have two options with Jesus. You can either reject the entirety of Jesus, like just reject him like and everything he taught, or you don't. It's really one of the two. Because if you only agree with certain parts of Jesus, like knowing that you only agree with certain parts of what Jesus taught, then that would be entirely hypocritical because you would be considering certain things that Jesus said as lies or things that don't apply. And therefore, you would be basically putting him as a liar. Because, like, as a liar and a fraud, too. Because he himself said it. I do not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. And he's doing so for a reason. So, if he came to fulfill the law, then that means that every single thing he did, not only did that fulfill the law, but it also never failed the law. Which, mind you, when I say the law, I'm basically talking about like every single teaching that the scriptures that would one day become the biblical canon teached. Basically everything. So, like, essentially, Jesus didn't fail, like, not even a single one, and that's how he fulfilled the law and became a proper sacrifice to put in place of humanity. So, with this information, me telling you that he's the Prince of Peace and that one of the most worth things, like one of the things that are more worth it in this world, or that like actually matter, is having the peace of Christ, like having the peace from from the Prince of Peace. And like I told you before, if you don't believe that Jesus is the Prince of Peace and that he gives peace and that he has given us peace, then you would be considering him a liar. And also, you would be a hypocrite in that sense. But, don't worry about the times. Or more than not worrying, just know that in the times that you are worried and anxious and you don't have peace, that doesn't mean that, like, that will never mean that God has abandoned you or anything like that. Just know that you don't need to like feel a certain way or like do a certain something or something like that. Just know it in the hard times. That's all you need to do, really. Just know that Jesus said, like the Father sent me, I give you my peace. My peace I send to you. So if any time you feel like you don't have any peace or anything, just acknowledge the fact that, or just know about the fact that Jesus has given you his peace. But of course, there's certain things that can get to sort of like drive you away from that peace. But there's also a type of peace that doesn't exist emotionally, or like it's a type of peace that you can't see really, or that you can't see easily. And that's the spiritual peace, where it's like where it's like you you have the peace right inside of you, but you don't it doesn't manifest directly. Like you don't see it manifest like on the physical, right? Like on the visible. But like that peace in itself is more strong than it looks like, because that's the type of peace that strengthens your faith. And faith is one of the most important things in this world, really. Because in reality, there's like practically nothing you can't do without faith. And if you think that, yeah, there are things you can do without faith, then it's like I'm sorry, buddy, but you might not know. You might not know what you're doing when you do things. I'll get into that in a later video, but it's already passed quite a while by now, so just know that once you've accepted Jesus Christ in you, that you can always go back to his peace. And even if you don't feel it or don't see it, it's actually there in a way that you can't perceive. Like, I'm not gonna tell you to like force yourself to try and like act like everything is all right. Just know that Jesus' peace is there with you. Anyways, God bless you all. God blesses you all. And see you guys in